Now, from the unemployment, natural rate of unemployment, we can um, shift to the uh, unemployment rate fluctuations above and below the unemployment rate. And it is basically explained by, well, the uh, typical boom and bust model, which is also summarized by the real business cycle model. The specific characteristic of this model is actually it also takes the labor market conditions within the model, which explains the boom and bust. But mainly, I mean, if you just think there are some at some points in economy when the growth rates are high, companies are investing, and other periods where companies are not investing, the sales are bad. There can be two different explanations for why in good times unemployment is um, low and in bad times unemployment is high. One explanation is the rational behavior. Basically, when things are going good, more people will be accepting jobs because the wage companies are willing to offer is higher, which makes more people to get the jobs. Of course, in that case, also more people might be joined to the labor force. Uh, that's also possible. But maybe, I mean, we might say that at those times, companies might be, the matching rate might be also higher. So the economy might be absorbing this uh, additional labor force entering to the market. The other way around, if the times are bad, in that case, I mean, people are not accepting jobs because wages are bad, low. Again, some people might be getting out of the labor job market, but that might also actually be compensated by the people who, because of the loss of other types of income, become desperate and need to get into the job market. So the effect of the um, bad economy on the labor force participation rate is not certain basically. Um, the other idea is this wage rigidity idea. If the wages are rigid, in that case, when economy is bad, wages become too high, and that will create unemployment because companies are not able to pay that wage and they fire the workers. Um, Real business cycle model also puts this unemployment as a factor that is actually deepening the crisis. Basically, when there's initially crisis, the sales are bad, companies fire workers. Now the workers will not be able to get their wages, and they won't able to buy output, and as a result, it will deepen the crisis. Of course, the crisis in the end will end because the the wages the workers will demand will decrease. Overall, the prices will decrease. As a result, the inputs will be cheaper to buy for the companies, and as a result, some companies will start to benefit from that, and they will lead to a new expansion in the economy. Um, so this is how real business, the labor market is incorporated to the real business cycle model. So now wage rigidity, and that's actually, as we have seen all the way up to Keynesian theory, one of the key assumptions in the economy, not only labor economics but also economics itself. So we might spend some time on this as a last topic. Basically, this will be our last topic. Um, it again it states that wages change more difficult when times are bad. They don't fall fast to a new equilibrium point. Why is this so? There are different ways to explain it. One explanation is efficiency wage idea, which is basically says that, I mean, the wages, when the companies pay to the workers wages, well, they tend to pay them a little bit higher than the average wage if there is no unemployment, so that they will be afraid of getting fired, because if they pay the exact same wage, then when they get fired, they might easily find a new job. So this loss of this higher wage would be a factor that would prevent them make them fear getting fired. But if all companies do that, in that case, the wage rate becomes higher than the wage where unemployment is low. As a result, unemployment rate will increase, and in the end, unemployment itself will make people afraid of being fired, because now, if you are fired, there are many people looking for a job, and it is not anymore that easy to find a job. So this is efficiency wage factor or explanation. Well, I think it is close to Marxian argument, which says actually you need unemployment to put pressure on the wages, basically. Because if you look carefully to the model, if you just have zero unemployment and fix unemployment at zero, wages continuously go up in this, according to this explanation. Just like Marx. That's told, basically. Anyway, let's pass this. Prevent shrinking. It is very similar to the first idea. The only difference is actually it says that the companies, if they supervise the workers continuously, that's too much money. But if they supervise the workers less, then the probability of being caught when they don't work as hard as they need to work will fall down. And when the probability is down, then the workers might think it is worth to take risk and work less, at least occasionally. And it might be also possible that they might think they can predict when the supervision will be made. However, if wages remain high above a certain level, above the average level, the level at which unemployment is zero, then workers losing job become losing too much, because it might be the wages they can find in the market might be lower, or again, according to if there is already unemployment, then because finding a new job is more difficult. As a result, even if the supervision is done less frequently, they will be less likely to shirk or work less or work with less effort. Insider-outsider factor, basically, the workers, if they are actually able to organize, work with each other, and lobby for themselves with or without a union, basically that might give them a kind of a monopoly power. That monopoly power also might exist because the workers know how to work with each other, and for a new team or even for a new member that joins to the team, the workforce, it might take time to learn how to work with the other workers together. As a result, this skills or this ability to work together increase the productivity of existing workers compared with the newcomers, new workers that would be hired, and that power, that additional productivity created by this exists for insiders may increase the wage the company is willing to pay compared with the wage the company is willing to pay for them people who are outside of the company. And that difference might also create unemployment, because wage might be relatively higher compared with the wage that will clear the unemployment. So the existing unemployment might not basically beat the wage inside of the company down easily, as long as the difference is high enough to overcome the productivity concern. So it is so cheap that you might say to help with productivity and hiring a new workers, basically. Let's continue. Reducing turnover. Well, again, similar to the other factor, when turnover is basically when too many workers are changing, coming and being hired and quitting in the company, coming and leaving the company. Typically, for example, in this Mills Technical University TRNC campus, there is a high turnover among the academicians. And that might create cost for the company because, finding new workers might be costly, but also the company might have invested to the workers at least by teaching them certain skills or at least learning how to work with those workers. And the companies, especially for skilled workers, but in some cases also for unskilled workers, might be willing to decrease the turnover. And to decrease the turnover, they might increase the wage of the existing workers to a certain level, which might make difficult for the low wage level outsiders demand to beat down with the wage inside down, basically. So now there is an empirical research made on the wage flexibility. There's statistical research and there is also a survey done for it, and both of them are interesting. Well, let's look to the statistical case. So wage flexibility, what is actually affecting the wage flexibility? Again, everything is now significant, so all factors are significant. The most important one is the efficiency wages idea. I mean, basically making workers more productive. That is decreasing flexibility. Then minimum wage also decreases flexibility, especially for the unskilled workers, of course. Long-term unemployment also decreases. I mean, if the more people have long-term unemployed, in that case, I mean, their skill level is low, so that decreases wage flexibility. The most important factor that is increasing wage flexibility is small firms, which might be less productive, which might be also the teams might be small. It might be easier to replace workers there. Importance of layoffs in unemployment and right to work law state. That's actually the case when unions don't have power. And well, whether the layoffs will result in unemployment or it's easier to find a job. That's also has a small effect. The right to work law has interestingly very small, even smaller effect, which might mean that actually unions might not affect the wage flexibility that much. So these are the survey results. You might read them. The main ideas, however, there you will see that the companies usually would rather fire workers at time of crisis than decrease the wages, because they think decreasing wages hurt the morale of workers more. Plus, when they decrease the wages, well, some most productive workers might quit, but when you fire the workers, you control who will get out of the workforce, basically. So, it's an interesting and very good research, in my opinion. So this is pretty much the end of the lecture, except the question part.